Hey guys, welcome back to Raid Shadow Legends. In today's video, I just wanted to record a video talking about Arena, going through my top 3 biggest tips for Arena, especially in the early game. These are going to differ depending on how much of a sweaty player you are and what you want to aim for, but in general, I think these are good tips for the Arena. Now, the first one I'm going to go through is going to be talking more about, sweaty pushes in the Arbiter missions, because the way you manage early resources, especially in your first day of play, is going to be very important. Now, I'm recording this at the very end of my first day of play on this account. You can see we've got 15 minutes left on the summon event, which is the 2x sacreds for, starting your account. And, actually, that means I get to do a promo code in 22 minutes. Nice. All right, so let's go through the first thing, because it's very, very important, because you guys may have seen me do Arbiter pushes before where, I'm refreshing the Arena every 15 minutes. My timer's on flat out, and I'm trying to punch through it as fast as possible. Now, that is pretty much what I do, and when I do that, I also buy Arena tickets with gems. I do some stupid things. Most players won't be doing that. Most players will be playing a little bit more casually. But in this early phase, I don't do that, because you can actually beat enemies. And if you look over here in the Arbiter missions at the moment where I'm at, I'm on this mission which I've almost completed, which is win 50 bronze, silver, or gold medals in Classic Arena. Now, the important thing about this in the early game is I only, I'm talking day 1, day 2. After that, it's free for all and away we go. But on day 1/day 2, I only use Arena tickets when there is an Arbiter mission that tells me to use it, or when there is when I'm about to cap. If I'm about to cap, obviously I use them. If I'm going to bed, I'll make sure I have 2 tickets around there, because then if I sleep 8 hours, I can get up and I'm still not overcapped on my Arena tickets. So the two situations, especially on this day 1 up until this stage, the 2 reasons I use it is to, 1, not cap on tickets, and 2, if there is a mission. The reason is because I try and conserve it all for these types of missions, so I can punch through these as fast as possible. Now, the other reason I do it, you might say, yeah, but Vulcan, if you're buying Arena tickets anyway, wouldn't you just buy them to punch through this? The problem is that if you push too far before you get to this mission, then you're going to be kind of stuck. If I had burnt everything and I was already in silver 3, silver 4, then we'd be kind of screwed, because believe it or not, I find silver 4 to be the hardest range in this game to push Arena. And you actually, because once you get to gold, it's just refresh every 15 minutes. Enough of the time you will find one-man defenses. I find in silver 4, this is the hardest hurdle to get over in Arena. Besides, having a 15-minute timer, which means you have no life. But getting through silver 4 is the hardest, because there's not many one-man defenses up there. It's all people trying to push into gold, and you just need to outspeed and beat them. And so that is why I don't rush Arena on day 1, and I only do it when Arbiter missions tell me to, or when I'm about to cap on tickets, because I don't want to be pushed into this range and then trying to do these annoying Arena Arbiter missions when I can't win enough of the time. So that is a very, very important thing, and as you can see, I've managed to do this one, almost complete this one at the end of day 1. I can go ahead and complete it. I've got 8 more tickets. I can easily do this. So that is the first thing. The next thing I want to talk about is, how do you want to form your team to actually play in Arena? And a great tip is using the formations. Now, my team is pretty standard. Basically, I'm going to want to use Tholin's skill 3. I want to use Tagoar's skill 2. And I want to use Serris's skill 3. Now, normally these champions will use those skills in those orders. But sometimes if there's a 2-man defense or a 1-man defense, they stray away from it, and they can actually stuff up. So sometimes Serris will just randomly use her skill 2 against 4 enemies, and I have no idea why. So make sure you take use of the presets once you hit level 30. Once you hit 30, you unlock that, and you can go ahead and do it. Now, basically, what you want to have is, you want to have your nuker, obviously, with an AoE attack. Tholin gives himself attack buff, which is huge. You want a Death Shredder. Everyone can get Serris who starts now. I'll talk about some free-to-play champs in a minute that you can get, and I will actually be using some of them in the not-too-distant future. But essentially, it's just cleave. And we look at this team, and I normally look at opponents. If they're within 10,000 of my power, and they don't have a speed lead, I feel like I can go ahead and clap them at this stage, even though they got some ascensions and stuff like that. So let's just jump in, and I'll show you guys the order. I'll show you guys my units and stats as well, so you guys have an idea for what we're looking at. We go ahead with Serris, we do the strip, and then the death break, and then we just go ahead and nuke. It's pretty easy like that. Now, the turn order, basically you want to have a booster, ideally, Eventually, Deacon will be your speed lead, your booster, and your Death Shredder once you get to level 40 using my Link. But until then, I've got the Tholen, who's almost crit capped and plus 56 speed. I got my Tagoar, who's plus 100 speed. And then I've got my Serris, who is plus 72 speed. And, you know, the key thing here is she also has 101 accuracy, so she lands those Death Shreds. She does have a perception set, and this is an accuracy chest. Really nice way to do it. Then you can just do some speed sets with like some 4 or 5 star speed boots, and you can get her speed up there to outspeed. And the idea is Tagoar is like a budget booster, also helps if someone dies and the battle goes longer, he can revive me. But, you know, his speed buff is kind of like a boost because he's that much faster than my Tholen. It actually helps gap my Tholen. And then we just have Serris to Death Shred and then Tholen to clap. Now, I want to go through some free-to-play units that you can use to sort of fill these roles because there are some very good ones. If we go to Chapter 4, we have Spirit Host. Now, I have Spirit Host. I just haven't had the need for her speed lead yet, but she's fantastic because she can be your speed lead to help you outspeed. Also, if you're not using Tholen Foulbeard and you have a different nuker, she also brings a 50% increased attack buff, which is really nice. So obviously in that situation, you have your booster first, and then you have her with the attack buff, and then you do Tholen. For me, when I use her, I'm going to have her just slower than my Tholen, and then I'm going to get her to use her skill 3, so that if my Tholen doesn't kill the whole enemy team, she'll use her skill 3, put immunity on my team so that if they have debuffs, they're not going to like stun me and lock me out of the game. So that's the way I will use her. But once again, normally it's just have her as your speed lead and then for the attack buff. Once again, once you get Deacon Armstrong, these all go away. But it's perfectly fine to go ahead and farm these units and also 3-star ascend them because I will need her max level 3-star ascended for the fusion. So I'm going to fuse her away anyway at some stage. So why not get some use out of her if I need it? Once again, I'm not finding that I need it at the moment. The next one is going to be over here. Diabolist. I haven't pulled one yet. I haven't got one from farming yet because I haven't really farmed 12-3 yet. But she has this skill 3, which is, once again, ascend her, get it. And you don't need to skill them up for these either. Fill the turn meter of all allies by 15%. Decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 15%. This is your booster. So you have Spirit Host as your speed lead attack buffer. You have Diabolist as your gauge booster. You've got Madam Serris as your Death Shredder. And then you've got Tholen Foulbeard as your nuker. And that is the kind of way I would look at it if I wanted to. Now, if for some reason you don't have Madam Serris, you can come over here and get War Maiden. Now, a lot of old videos will say, you know, War Maiden's great to have, build her up, you know, keep her on your account. Those stages are kind of gone with the download links and the beginner codes. Like, she's kind of obsolete now. But once again, you do need her for that fusion. So 3-star ascending her as your defense breaker can work. I wouldn't bother skilling her up though. It's not worth it. Just run with the 75% chance in arena. If you miss it, so be it. But same thing as with the Madam Serris. She just wants to be fast with accuracy to land this. That's pretty much it, and that'll get you through like your first couple days of arena. That's all you need. But once again, eventually with my download link at level 40, I will be getting Deacon Armstrong. He fills the speed role. He fills the roles of, dude, if I could talk, he fills the roles of your speed lead, your booster, and your Death Shredder. So with him, and because we have Tholen Foulbeard, who only needs to he doesn't need an attack buffer. Basically, with Deacon and Tholen, you can just run another damage dealer or anything you want in those last 2 spots because those two together make like a perfect cleave team. And so past that, maybe you run an extra gauge booster because your Tholen's really slow. Maybe you run an extra damage dealer. You know, like we could run something like Deacon, Tholen. We could run the Diabolist for the extra gauge boost if Tholen's really slow, and then an extra damage dealer if we have one. You know, your starter if you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm probably gonna just do when I get it. I'm gonna run Deacon. I'm gonna run Madam Serris because she also has the attack break. If they live, it also gives me a better chance to land the defense break. Then I'll just run Tagoar because Tagoar's there if things don't pan out, and then we'll run Tholen. Basically because I don't have another unit or enough gear to make a second nuker, but in the early game, that is pretty much what you're looking at. Once again, the big thing for Arbiter pushers is don't be burning all your arena tickets on the first day. Only use them when you're about to cap or when you have an Arbiter mission that leads you to it, because you don't want to get stuck in like Silver 4 too early because it's really hard to push through that. Now, once I'm done this mission here, you can see I'm almost in Silver 3. So once I'm done this mission, I don't think there might be another one towards the end of this, But I may just defeat 50 champions in Classic Arena. So once again, as soon as I finish this mission, I'm going to stop doing arena attacks. I'm going to try and rush to this one. And then I'm going to try and do this one through Silver 3. And then I think, I'm not sure if there's another one. And this is where you just got to kind of map it out and plan it out. Let's have a quick look here. And if there's nothing here, that's when I'm probably just going to start. Dude, it did that. Sometimes it skips back. But yeah, if that's where it's at, that's where I'm probably just going to stay stuff it. And now I'm just going to push arena as much as possible, because at the end of the day, then I'm just going to have to start focusing on the arena. Yeah, so reach silver. Yeah, so pretty much that's where I'm at. That is where I would stop worrying about saving tickets, and that's where I'm just going to start refreshing every 15 minutes, burning all my tickets. If I'm out of tickets, I'll buy refreshes. But I'm going to do that one where I have to defeat 50 champions first, because, you know, that's pretty close. And if I can do that through Silver 3 instead of Silver 4, that's going to be a lot easier for me. So that's where I'm at. I need one more win. This mission will be done. And then once again, I'm going to push the rest of those Arbiter missions, get up here. Then I'll do the defeat 50 champions. And after that, that's when I'm in my coast mode. Refresh every 15 minutes, attack every enemy I can beat, and keep on pushing on. So let's go ahead. Let's finish this mission with this one. Hopefully it works well. Get the speed buff. Nice. Get the death shred. Nice. Get the nuke. Nice. There we go. Happy days. Just one thing with Tholen Foulbeards out there at the moment. If you don't kill the Tholen Foulbeard and he revenges, because most people have the revenge mastery, it is a nightmare, and it's sometimes better to go second because, yeah, he just revenges and then does his skill 3 and wipes your whole team. Kind of sucks. So make sure you're killing those Tholens and not getting revenged. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.